Hello, welcome to BikeSocial. I'm Michael Mann. Hope you're well. It's always nice to be polite, isn't it? You join me in beautiful Berkshire, where I'm on the press riding launch of the 2023 version of the Norton Commando 961. There are two versions, the SP Sport or the CR, the Cafe Racer. They differ in price by about £500, between £16,500 up to about just under £17,000. And they still use the 961 twin. And today we're going to be riding them, and I'm going to be introducing you to all the new bits because over a third, they might look the same, but over a third of the bike is brand new. But first, I'm going to introduce you to a man called Gladwell, who's the Chief Commercial Officer and a very important cog in the brand new Norton. Christian, thank you so much for having me down here.
Thanks for your time.
No, pleasure. Look, so tell me a little bit first of all about, before we move on to the bike itself, let's just talk about you and how you fit in and the brand itself, because from what we've heard from you today off camera, it's been very exciting.
Pleased that you found that exciting. We obviously feel it's a really exciting time to be part of Norton, although we've got a lot of work to do. And we are obsessed, and we had a good conversation around that word earlier today, obsessed with being custodians of this brand, custodians of being of this business for the next 126, 125 years. So my role within the organisation is to look after and really curate the customer facing side of the business, the interface with the motorcycle itself through the purchase process, the full-on retail process, and the aftermarket servicing and warranties, etc. So crucial in terms of building trust with our riders and our enthusiasts, taking the brand and the business into different areas to open up this wonderful pursuit of motorcycling.
Christian, you talked about the Commando being a jigsaw piece, probably from your rather expansive history and archive, but will it always be part of Norton?
Yeah, our plans are that Norton should always make a Commando. What that Commando or elements of the Commando family is, we look forward to iterating as we move into the future. Right. But it's such a powerful and important sub-brand in the motorcycling story, and specifically the Norton story. That ability for a machine to connect with those icons of iconoclast, you know, the Keanu Reeves in My Own Private Idaho, and the McQueens, the Clint Eastwoods, the Honor Blackmans. We think that this motorcycle is the correct start point for us to reimagine that journey.
But people shouldn't look at this, and it does look very similar, certainly in terms of silhouette, as the previous iteration, 2015, 2016, but it's a very different bike, isn't it?
It's a very different bike. Over 36% of the parts inside have been materially changed. That's changing the material, changing the technical drawings, changing the specifications. The amount of work and effort that's gone in, and no little talent that's gone into completely re-engineering significant parts of this machine, which means we can actually step out with a Commando with a full 2-year warranty, and we can offer the full ability to service and support within the UK.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Cool, well thank you so much for that. Okay. Great insight. I'm sure we could have talked for hours about what's coming and what's next. And yeah. Fine, good, all right. Well, I'm going to go and have a go on one of these Commandos in that case. Okay. Right, enough chat. What say we go and have a ride? Ooh, see that flex? Look at that. Should we have a little? Oh yeah. Feels wide but narrow, if that makes any sense. So it's wide, you see, it's wide between my feet, but it's narrow here, really narrow across the fuel tank. And we can just, if I sit back in the seat, I can get my knees tucked in there. If I sit forwards a bit, they've just got to kind of tuck under the front bit. Oh, visor. Let's close that. Here we are. Might make it a little bit better for you. Got this retro style ADV lid. I chose it deliberately to kind of fit with the style of the bike. Right, are you at a good angle? Can you see? Yes, I think you can. Anyway, here we are. Hello. So I thought I'd better give you a bit of insight into the technical side of things with the old Commando. So air and oil cooled 961 parallel twin, and it's slightly etched forwards. Etched, that's a funny word. It's slightly canted forwards. Is that better? 7 degrees more than previous apparently. And look at all the space you can kind of fit your hand through here, can't you? Oh, there's lots of Space in this frack. Keep your sandwiches in there. Look, you can cook a toasty on there. Oh, lush. Hey, I tell you what, this feels proper. What a charming motorbike. Oh, this is 5-speed. There's me going for 6th. It's 5-speed. So what you get is, when you're trying to go for 6th, you just get nothing. You get the lever moves, but there's no engagement, there's no gears. It doesn't stop you. So yeah, twin clocks, analog with a digital display there. Your miles per hour, you've got your revs, 7,500 red line. Although I don't want to be pushing a twin all that way, especially not in this style. This gorgeous attention to detail with the Norton written across the front on the bar. These bar risers, look at this. Oh, this is so well finished. And then if we press that, you've got your trip, you've got your time, you've got your voltage. Is that for battery? Yeah. And then your odometer. So fully adjustable Öhlins twin forks at the front, full of good old components. There, you need your screwdriver in there. Wait, let's have a little. There we go. It's in there. You'll have noticed Brembo's on there too. Twin discs, polished rims. We've got a set of Dunlop Sportmax GPR 300s on there. Now this is the sport model. You can tell because it's SP for sport. It's funny, isn't it? Sport and then Cafe Racer would, both got names of connotations of going uber fast, but yet neither are particularly quick, and they're a bit more, languid and laid back in their style, deliberately so. So it's funny how they've got sport and racer in their names. But anyway, this is the sport, and as we've said, sort of sitting upright on there at 6 foot tall, I can just about get my knees under that crest there. Whereas on the Cafe Racer, it's in a way it's more comfortable from a legs perspective, but not quite from a everything else perspective. So it's very wristy. That's twin exhaust. Yeah, twin shocks, piggyback style, Öhlins. Again, adjustable, just with the dial on the top there. Chain drive, twin exhaust. Highly polished everything. And the attention to detail on a lot of these components certainly is where it excels and exceeds over the previous iteration. And is part of what we've come to expect of new Norton, with the quality there of, hand welded, and I think they call it aerospace standard billet aluminium. So the Sport and the Cafe Racer differ really with just its handlebar position, as opposed to risers off the top yoke, as opposed to clip-ons on the Cafe Racer version. 77 horsepower. Torquey enough, 81 newton meters of torque. So yeah, so this is the Sport, the SP. It's not particularly sporty, like we said, but just listen to this. Look, national speed limit. Ready? 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 Oh, man alive! There's a lot of character in this. Vibrations, the noise, the feel of the bike. You know how you can feel a bike through the handlebars, through the foot pegs, through the seat. This is nostalgic. I just want to hear that roar. A 15-litre tank that Norton claims will get you about 120 miles. It weighs 230 kilos wet. And it's available in this Manx Platinum, which is this, or you've got Matrix Black. And you can buy either the Sport or the Cafe Race in either, and then there's an option on the wheels. So you get black wheels or polished rims there. Look. But when Christian Gladwell's talking about, he wants the sort of ownership experience of Norton to exceed luxury, and he said earlier on in his intro, he said the bike has to be so great that you want to lick it. And I thought, this is fascinating insight, and it's obviously the guy's paid to say things like that, but his enthusiasm and his obsession with the way in which Norton should be and could be and ought to have been, and that brand equity has been somewhat destroyed, hasn't it, by the Stuart Garner era. But now it's all about building back to where they once were and moving the brand on and being this sort of ultimate luxury. He's also talked today about how the suite of Commando will increase. Now, whether that means EV or whether that means, well, alternative power, let's say, or whether that means smaller, larger, who knows. But they've certainly spent that investment well, haven't they? 40 million quid's worth of new factory in Solihull. They won't sell 55,000 of these. They won't be able to make 55,000. Because, of course, all of them are now hand-built in the factory in Solihull, the new factory, which, if you've not seen the video I did back in November of 2021 where we met the CEO, Robert Henschel, he guided us around, introducing us to all of the new areas and where they'd spent all of TVS's money. TVS, of course, is the parent company, it's the owner of Norton Motorcycles. Flat out. Super. So yeah, so let's just round up those negatives then. I would like to see a gear indicator. Can't be that hard to add in. I'd also maybe a repositioning of that side stand just to make it easier. Though that's probably not a deal breaker. It is an entertaining bike. Not so much in terms of its ability to do skids and wheelies and lots of miles an hour and whatever else. It's the theatre of being on board. It's the joy that it gives you as a motorcyclist. The feeling of going out on a Sunday or going out on just for a ride where you don't have to necessarily stress about stuff, or it takes your stresses away, let's say that. It's a relaxing machine to ride. So there we have it, a whole lot of character and charm and engineering quality, really. You really get that sense, that earthiness, that kind of old-fashioned nostalgic view of what motorcycling and certainly internal combustion engines should have been. So if you're watching this in 25-30 years time, then you should have had one of these. Thank you so much for joining me. The full review will be at bikesocial.co.uk. Any comments, queries, questions, thoughts, post them below, and if I can't answer them, I'll see if the guys at Norton can. See you next time.